All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to this week's and this month's market review and outlook. Happy new month, everyone. Welcome to March. March will be a far better month for all of us. So let me share screen so that we see what we have. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I want to let's look at GPYS. Japanese yen. So JPYS. So first of all, let's start with what happened this weekend. Israel and US attacked Iran after the negotiation failed. And what we are hearing is that the conflict has escalated. The leader of Iran is dead, and Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz, which is where ships carrying oil pass through. In fact, 20% of global oil supply pass through that region. And if that place is closed, then that is a huge problem, which means that oil price is going to rise. Now, I discovered that Japanese yen, gold, of course, is going to rise, but if everybody is rushing to buy gold, that could also be a trap. But gold will definitely rise. It may dump at a point, and then but it will rise because it's a safe-haven asset. When investors are worried about where to put their money during war, they put their money in safe-haven assets like gold, silver. And then Japanese yen is also a safe-haven asset, and Japanese yen is going to rise. So I'm trying to okay. So, but first of all, let's look at the yen. Last week, we saw that it was bearish, but what it did was to come to this massive bullish fair value gap. And actually, you actually pointed it out in the chart. You mentioned that it's going to buy from here, which is what it's going to do. It's going to buy from. So if it is the weekly, on the weekly, you could see this massive bullish fair value gap. Yeah, a bullish fair value gap. And with this war, what I'm expecting is something like this is going to spike, which is already doing it. It has already started buying on the lower time frame. The question is, will it get here? This one is different. Okay, let me use the normal one we have. Let me remove this. So yeah, this is the correct one. So yeah, bearish. It came to this push other block, came to this zone, where it closed above. And this is where it started facing that massive rejection. So I'm expecting it to get here. But if the war continues, it may keep spiking until it gets here. And that will send USD JPY, the JPY pairs down even further. And of course the market will go down. But the thing is, when the war, if there's any peace deal, or if there's any escalation, the stock market will go up, the US dollar will go up, the Japanese peso will go up, while this one will go down. So depends on what happens tomorrow. And if this conflict escalates, Japanese yen is going to go up, the gold is going to go up a lot. All these safe haven assets, even silver will go up. So, but right now, this is what we are seeing. Yeah, it's bearish, but it dipped into this zone. So let's look at, and again, okay, let's look at monthly time frame, because this is a new month. So, and you can see that instead of, you can see already that market is already pricing in this conflict. Instead of closing below, instead of this candle, so it was bearish. But instead of this particular the month of January couldn't close below the month of December with the bottom of a candle. So after December closed below the month of November with the bottom of a candle, it started facing resistance, massive resistance at this zone. So every time it comes here, it reverses. Now the month of January could not close with the bottom of a candle. This one also couldn't close with the bottom of a candle, and it's facing resistance here. And now, because of this conflict, it's going to send it up. So we are seeing rejection at the lows, massive rejection on the monthly time frame that could send price up. So let's look at the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame, the question is, will it get here? Normally we have a setup where it gets here and then it can sell. But if this work continues, it may just keep buying. But we will see what will happen. And then let's look at the daily time frame. So that is where we have um some kind of setup. So this was what I marked. Already you have SBR. If we don't have this kind of conflict escalation, this was already playing out. This was where it started facing that rejection. Then you have, so this zone has been retested, it closed below, retested this zone, but this zone is left. So if you mark the Fibonacci, this is the high of the range, as this is the high of the range. Okay, let's use this at the low of the range. So price could come here, come to this zone, and then sell. That was what we were expecting, or even here. Where you have the fair value gap is 0.618. So let's do that. So let's say price comes here and then sells to this low, perhaps. And then your SL is above that high. So in 4 hours, we could see it clearly. So it closed below, and it may come here, So let me, if I use this rectangle, basically you could come to this zone, and if the war continues to, if the war is resolved, so it could rise sharply to this zone. But if the war continues, and it breaks this zone, it breaks above this zone. If it breaks above this zone, which even our buy setups on JPY will not work, because if this one continues to buy, JPY price will be bearish. Asha, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you.
If this one takes out this, if it takes out this high, because it's been facing rejection here, if it takes out this high with the bottom of a candle, there's no need buying JPY pairs. JPY pairs will keep selling while this one keeps buying. So we have to follow it with what is happening on the JPY pairs. So it depends on how long this war will last. But Trump likes to resolve conflict faster, because now if this war continues to rise, the US stock will go down and inflation will hit 5%, which is what it was in 2022 when the war between Russia and Ukraine escalated, and that will set everything that Trump has done in the economy back. And this year is the midterm election. There's midterm election in November. If the economy is down, Americans will not even want to care whether he went to war against Iran. They will vote out the Republicans. And Trump will lose majority in Congress. And then if the if the Democrats come in and take over the majority, the first thing they will do will be to impeach him, and they will accuse him of taking the country to war and making people to suffer, because prices of things will go up. So we would like to see, well, if this war is resolved this week, this zone could hold price and then it could go down. As it's going down, people pairs will start buying from our zone. But if this war is not resolved this week and the Strait of Hormuz is actually closed, then this thing will keep buying, and the war, and gold will keep buying, and then dollar assets will get weaker, and that will not be good for the global economy. It will even affect everyone, including Nigeria, because Nigeria is an oil producing state country. So we would like to see what will happen. But for now, technical analysis, this is it. But if fundamental analysis complicate it, it could affect a lot of things. So DSY, the same thing. So let's look at monthly time frame. So DSY has been bearish but came here and has been facing rejection in this zone. The question is, will this war make it to break this zone? Because if this war escalates, it will become very bearish and even break the zone. It will become very, very bearish and break the zone. Let's look at something that happened last time we had a war. Let me see if I can see it. Massive escalation. Don't know if I can see. Not seeing. Not seeing 2003, but um, I can see. Let me see. This is 2018. This is 2021. Okay, so 2022. 2021, so around 2021, let me see, 2022, you will see where it was here. It was down because when we had the war in Ukraine, when it was escalating around this zone, so it was trying to break this low and it broke it. Of course it recovers, after the conflict, is resolved, or maybe there's a peace deal. You can see how here it came back and recovered and went high. And as it's recovering, and it created a new all-time high in 2022, 114. As it's recovering, even the stock market will also recover and create a new all-time high. So this war, remove this, I'll put it back. So already the last month is an inside back candle. It did not really do anything. So the month of February was an inside back. First of all, market was bearish here. The January closed below the low of December, giving us an SBR, right? But it did a massive rejection here. Now this month was supposed to probably pick order here and keep going down, but it refused to this zone, rejected and appeared to be bullish, a little bit bullish, but this war can, cause massive damage. So the question now is, if the war is not resolved on time, it could go down and come to this zone. If the war escalates, it could break this zone with the body of a candle. If it escalates beyond this month, then it could close it. But if there's any peace deal and the war is resolved, then it could go back. It could now become bullish and keep going back up. So let's look at what happened last week. Last week we saw that um, January, after it met this massive resistance, it started buying back. The previous week, 2 weeks ago, it was buying back. Last week, an inside back candle, and basically, if not for this war, it could have just picked an order and just target this high. But now this war will complicate things. The initial order we had was here. You see this other block. So, and here I did block structure, which is also an RBS. Resistance becomes support. So making this entire zone a support zone, it has, it broke above this high, this resistance to the body of a candle, and what we're expecting is this. That price will come to this other block where you also have a fair value gap, and just basically target this high to just be modest and probably even keep going. But this war, if it keeps selling and breaks this zone, then it will target this low. And if it comes to this low and the war continues, we don't. So we will see what happens this week. Then we can follow it. And as it's selling to this zone, JPY. So basically, I will just as JPYS is buying, this one will sell, and JPY pairs it will also keep selling. So you could see JPY pairs already. So this is RBS. So let me mark this. RBS. So this is RBS. So if this war, already this one is already bearish and has already dipped into this zone. So we may see a gap down when the market opens as it comes into. But if this conflict escalates, it will keep selling. As JPYS is buying, dollar is selling. Because if JPYS is bullish, this JPY pairs will be bearish. So it could keep selling, and if it breaks this our zone, there's no need, trying to enter any buy for now. So if it breaks this low, then that will be we'll have to look for another POI. All right. So we'll see what will happen this week. We'll see what will happen this week because this is where fundamental analysis, is crashing with technical analysis. Fundamental analysis and market will just be reacting, and but we'll be seeing everything in price. So basically, the same thing with other pairs. The same thing with the other pairs. JPY has the cleanest price action. If not for this one, normally it's supposed to come here, come to this zone and buy from here. This is an order block. This is RBS. This is also a fair value gap here. This is the unmitigated zone. This is a fresh key level. Price has not come back. It's after breaking above here, and it needs to retest this zone. But if this war continues, it could break below it and just keep selling. It could break below it and just keep selling. The same thing with USDJPY. So basically, RBS is broke above with the body of a candle. So we could see it come down as the dollar is coming down. This one will come down. JPYS is going up. If the war continues, it will break below this low. Then you know that our buy is validated. It will come for this low. If it breaks it, it will just keep going down and down and down. Probably, who knows? If the war continues, we have a weekly. The war continues, it could come to our weekly zone, which is at 146. It could come to this zone, and then once the war is being resolved, it will buy up sharply. So we will see. The same thing with JPT25. JPT25 also, like I said, these are the top 225 companies in Japan. They would need Japanese yen to be cheap, so that they will be able to export goods. They are export driven companies. They don't sell mainly to people of Japan, they sell to the world. They export goods, Toyota, all those Japanese companies. So when Japanese yen is bullish, this JP225 will be bearish. And when Japanese yen is bearish, this one will be bullish. So if Japanese yen is buying because of this war, I expect to see price deep into this zone. And if the war continues, the same thing, it will probably come here, to this zone. Who knows? We'll see what will happen. So just, but let me look at monthly time frame. See, very very bullish, very 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 bullish. You just need to retest the monthly order block and keep buying. Um, monthly time frame. Let me look at monthly time frame. This one, the same thing with you, DSY. Since he closed above, here, so this is bullish. This pair is bullish. This pair is bullish. On the monthly time frame here, it closed above this zone. Since then, it's been retesting here. It's facing resistance here while retesting this other block. The question is, will this war escalate and make it to break below this other block with the body of a candle? And it could keep going down, and that would be, it could keep going down. So, EUJPY monthly time frame, they are all bullish. I mean, JPY pairs are all bullish. Why JPYS is, on the monthly time frame is bearish. So, you see the monthly order block, it could break this low, use this low as liquidity, and even come to this zone. So, you see, since he broke above this zone, it has not retested it. So, this is a monthly order block and fair value gap that price has not retested. And this wall may make it to retest this zone, which is interesting. Broke above it. RBS here has not retested it. weekly time frame, you will see it clearly. The war is continues to escalate. You can see it broke above it, broke above it. This is a weekly time frame. And this is the last time something like that happened when price closed above this zone, retested. Look at here. This was when 2025 price closed above this zone and retested this, this RBS retested it. Look at this. This is the low. This is the liquidity grab. This is the high. And price came exactly to 0.618 and then delivered to that high several weeks later. If this war continues, we could see something like this happen. And I'm hoping that even if it sells, this weekly order block and monthly order block will hold price. But this will be a massive sell that will even hit our buyers and their setup. So we have to be very, very cautious. We have to be very, very cautious. GBP, the same thing. GBPJPY has a weekly order block here. And if this war escalates, it could come to this zone then before buying. I mean, probably by the time it gets here, this is what? This is 204. By the time it gets here, maybe if the war, reduces, then it could, just keep buying. So, and I mean, okay, USDJPY, USDJPY. This, if the war continues, it will come to this weekly zone, which is what we have on the weekly time frame. What we have on the weekly time frame, and this is the zone that it will be held. I mean, this zone has held price for long. So this zone is actually weak. It may not even be strong enough. Price will hit it out and come here if there is any peace deal, then this zone could hold. But if there's no peace deal and the Strait of Hormuz is closed for more than for long, you see dollar crashing down and retesting the zone. So that's what we have on this pair. So we have to look, we have to follow the market. We look at US oil. Do I have it? US oil, of course, oil is going to go up. Let me see. The oil is already, market is already anticipating this war against Iran. You could see oil became bullish since January, close above here, and this is monthly time frame. So you have RBS, the monthly time frame. Market did this, RBS. The market came this February to retest this zone, and you have this is a bullish order block, and there's a bullish fair value. The market retested this zone and bought from here, which is really massive on the monthly time frame. So weekly will give us more clarity about this. Okay, wait, let me mark that zone. This is the zone, so let's go to weekly. So that's the zone. Market close above, and if we use this as the low, so let's see. If we use this as the low, this is the high of the range. The market came back to 0.16 and bought. So I mean, this conflict already is going to probably will send the oil price to 100. So if it escalates, oil price could hit 100. So let's see where 100 is. 100 is actually far. The conflict escalates. Analysts are saying if the conflict escalates, price could hit 100. So where is 100? 100 is here. That's the next major resistance on the monthly time frame. Massive bearish favor gap is there. You also have a major resistance here at 93. And if oil price goes up, it's going to send a lot of price of everything up. Inflation will rise. I mean, even in America, inflation is going to rise. Gas prices will rise. That people may not be able to afford it, and we are hoping that that is not the case. But that is, I mean, what that is what the chart is showing us. It's as if the market is getting ready to make an impulsive move that could come to this zone, and that would be very, very massive. Every time oil you rises, it was driven by a major conflict, major conflict. This one was COVID-19 crisis. This was COVID-19. I want to see 2002. It's 2003. Look at when the US attacked Iran. So the last time that we saw a massive movement in oil. So in 2000 oil was just, cheap, going down. It was very cheap, $17. Oil was cheap at $17. What happened in 2002? There was news that US may attack Iran, may invade Iran, and it started going up. Created this buy, did RVS on the monthly time frame. It came back exactly in 2003 when the war started. We tested this zone because if you want to know what will happen, look back to history. Test this zone. When the war continued, and it could not be resolved on time, you continue to rise. From that 25, it kept rising, 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 and it's been rising since then. In fact, it rose as of December. As of January 2024, it was already at 36, so more than doubled. And in November 2024, it was at 54. And in fact, when the market crashed, the last time, okay, another thing that happened was when the market crashed, when the US market crashed, 2008, oil rose to 146. 146. That was really, really massively. When market crashed, oil rose to 146, 147. We're hoping it doesn't get here because this is very, very dangerous. So since then, it's been hovering. There's also another time a war in Ukraine sent it up to 128. They're saying that this war could send oil to 100. 100. And the market takes months to recover, from this. So we'll see what will happen. But let's look at the daily time frame. I don't trade oil. I'm just trying to see market is doing. But in the daily time frame, I'm seeing something that is very, very clear. Normally, if not for this, what is going on, we already have an RBS here, price close above, and you know, and we could have something like this. Normally, it's supposed to be something like this. Where price will just retest this zone, then buy. But now, with this war, it may not even retest it. It will just lie. It will just keep rising. And even or if it retests it, it may just dump, then just rise sharply. So we'll see. We'll see. So what will happen this week? What will happen in the next 48 hours will be very, very critical, and it will give direction for what is going to go on in March. Give more direction for what will go on in March. So if price takes out our key levels, closes below with the bottom of a candle, then we'll have to wait to see what the market will do. Okay, let's look at Aisha, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, let's look at not this trading view, the right trading view. It's 25 because I've not really been looking at it. Meanwhile, this one just did a massive RBS. Though I would like to see the monthly candle and all of that just close above this resistance. Finally, close above this resistance. So what I'll be expecting, the price action is back to normal. When it closed above this one, it retested. This was it. Just coming back to retest. It closed above. It did RBS here. So let's look at. Let's see. Um, this is this 25. So let's see. First of all, let's start with here. This is 24 hours. When price close above here, RBS, it closed above here. And this was in February. It came to this zone. Interesting. So if you mark the range, this is the low of the range. This is the liquidity graph. Okay, this one has been retested. Price closed above here, came back. So this is the low of the range. And this is the high of the range. And price came to 0.86. This was on 9th February. We tested this zone and bought. That was what happened. So which means it didn't get here. I was expecting it to get here. It didn't get here. So this was what it did. All right. So now price closed above here. Let's see. Yes, again. This is the low of the range. This is the high of the range. It came to the same 0.8 type 2, almost type 3. And just continue to range there. So the zone held, this support zone held. Because above this resistance, making this place a support on the daily time frame, it held. Now it has clue if this daily candle ends with ends above this zone with the bottom of a candle. So we'll see by tomorrow. Then probably we'll have another RBS. So let me see. And it started with a massive liquidity grab, which means that may happen likely. So let's say we'll have another RBS. RBS. Then you mark there. And if it is following the same structure, let's say this is it's still the high of the range. Let's say nothing changes more in the next 5 hours. Let's say it's just ranging. This is the high of the range. This is the low of the range. This is high of the range. And 0.8 is what here. So probably because this one has been doing deep pullback on the daily time frame. So which means you are looking to buy from around here. And then just be, following it on 1 hour target, which means it may come here. So which means it's going to come to 2850 before going up. That's the zone to retest. So it's been doing it for the past, okay, did it in February. Did it in February. Even in December, the same thing. Closed above, used range a lot, use all these lows as liquidity, defended this level. It's been defending this level for some since November. I would love to see. Maybe I'll go to later. I'll go to Meta Trader 5 to see the monthly candle and the weekly time frame because it's not here. You can see only 1 year data is here. Only 1 year data. This is what March. Only 1 year data is here. But basically, that's what it's been doing. Close above here. RBS came here and retested. Close above here. Okay. Close above here. Use this one as liquidity retested here. Except it does a massive rejection at that high. So but let's look at 75. Okay, 75. Interesting. Came to this zone and started selling from there. Really? And this is a massive zone on higher time frame and probably on the monthly and weekly time frame. It will also be a massive zone. Came there and started selling. The rejection, started selling from there. So the question is, where is he heading to? If he closes below this low, you will see further sales. I said, I thought he's going to buy. Probably is going down to pick order. Would like to know where he's heading to. Going down to pick order. Because this pair is still very, very bullish. Or probably this zone will hold. So we'll see. This will hold. Let me see what we have on 4 hours.
Check the previous range. Check the 24 hours. But I feel like that range that we were talking about the other time, remember, when it was ranging, I feel
Yes,
it has gotten there now, it's going back down. Remember this spot?
yes. Mm,
Yes.
yes, I think you mentioned that it will sell from this zone.
Yes, I did.
Mm. And that was actually the main massive, on 24 hours, the main massive zone it broke below that remains that it's supposed to sell from.
I just kept selling.
Yes,
Yes.
because it did not respect the 4 hour key level. So the 4 hour zone, when we are trying to sell, that was here, did not really respect it. He just bought. Okay, maybe here. Okay, did not respect this zone when he broke below here. He just bought, yes. So it's respecting this daily zone. It's selling from here. Interesting. Let's see what it did on 4 hours. First of all, he tried to buy from this zone, and it did. So let me move this. He's still trying to find this balance. He's trying to find this balance. Okay. Did RBS here. With a liquidity grab, you have 0.7 type 2 picked order and deliver to the target. Since then, it's facing resistance, massive resistance around here, broke the low. So is you would like to know, I would like to know how this candle closes. Will this zone hold? Or is it actually bearish? Is it that it's now going down? Is it that it's now going down? There was a time it did something like this. Came to this zone, sold, created a new low. Came to this zone. Okay, closed below here, came to this zone, sold. So to see what it will do. But yeah, it couldn't break above here. So if it closes below this low, then it will retest it and keep selling. So this zone. If it breaks this low, if it breaks below this low, then it's bearish. Then it has become bearish, which means it may retest here. But we also know. Okay. Chat, are you seeing this? So this pair is also
Yes.
still bullish. This pair is also still bullish. This is a massive RBS, right?
Yes.
So if it breaks below that low, so let's even mark the range. Then it will mean it's coming here. So it's not going to now go below here. So it has actually created a buy key level here. So let me see. So which means if we are to use this whole range, the whole range is just created now 24 hours, which is interesting. Which means basically 0.6 to 0.7, which means here it could test this zone and then keep going up. Because now it's retesting So what he just did is to respect this zone, this SBR. It broke below it. It has never retested it before. It just retested it and it's going down. But now that it's going down, it has actually closed above here. If it did not close above here, if it did not create a key level here and did RBS, it will just keep going down like what it did here. There was no RBS here before. So it came here, but now it has formed it. So it's not going to just go below here just like that. No, it has formed an RBS here. So, and it has not retested this zone. So the same thing it did for this sell. If it keeps selling, the same thing it will do for this buy. That's what I'm expecting. So since it broke above here, it has not come back. So which means it may likely come to this zone, deep into this zone, and from there you just keep buying. And if that is the case, then if we breaks this zone, we'll just have to wait for it here. The best thing will be to wait for it here. And if it comes here and gives us confirmation, see, this is daily time frame. If it gives a massive confirmation on daily time frame that is buying, then someone can risk low and target this high because of course the pair is bullish. But right now, if it breaks here, it will currently bearish, so like it will come to this buy zone, selling to a buy zone, and then probably. So I'm expecting that okay, the price action is stabilizing. If it comes here, it means it's finding its balance, and this zone holds, and it gives us a buy key level on 24 hours on the daily time. Then it gives us a buy key level. Then, but then it picks order from here and keeps buying. It means yeah, the price is stabilizing. It has found its balance. It means that it's going to buy. Then probably we'll now see what it will do when it comes here. We'll now see what it will do when it comes here. And probably it may be maybe it's from here it will sell and then target this will sell. But let's see if it closes below this low. Already this candle closed below the other ones, and already this candle also has closed below here. But we would like to see how it closes. How the candle will end by 1 a.m. So we'd like to see how it closes. If it closes, it will just retest and sell. The best option will be to wait for the buy. But if somebody is going to sell, maybe sell will be above here. But the best option would be to wait for it here if it comes here. And it could. I mean, in just 3 days, it did all this and got here and started facing resistance. So if it comes here and start facing resistance, so yeah, as it was facing resistance, it developed a sell key. A sell. So what? Let me see what it did. It started building a sell key level. Probably we could see it on 2 hours. It's not really clear. Okay, it was also clear. Okay, broke below this low, picked order from here and sold. That was what it did. And I think it's also clear a little bit broke below this low. There was a small RBS here, broke below this low, picked order here, sold. Interesting. Let me mark it on. So that if we see something like that, if it comes here to this zone, it gives us this kind of key level RBS. We just wait for the buy. So probably between here and here, wait for the buy and then take it to the high. So this was what it did. Broke this low. SBR. And this is the high of the range. Why this is the low of the range? So the high is coming to 0.8. Interesting. So it came to this zone, type 2, most type 3, and sold and started selling. It faced a lot of rejection before it started selling, which is interesting. Now again, close below again, did the same thing. It's really, really selling. Slowly selling. Okay. Close this way again. High of the range, a pretty grab, low of the range, 0.86. And since then it's been selling. And this one has already broken several lows. Interesting. Which is the next place that will be tested. If it remains like this. Already this one has on 2 hours, it has already broken this low. And I want to see what we have on 4 hours. The same thing on 4 hours. So which is really selling. So, and if that zone is broken on the daily time frame, which means it will come to this zone and then sell from there, which is very interesting. Although this pair can be very, very foolish, it could make use of this whole range. It could make use of this whole range. And still, use this as liquidity. So if it breaks below this zone, it may just go to this other block, make use of this whole range, come to this zone and sell, or will do what it did the other time. It will just keep selling. It may just dump. So, but we will see. But since it is bullish, generally bullish right now, this year is becoming generally bullish. As from what we are seeing, the best thing to do would be to wait for it here. Just wait for it here. And then, which means any sell, any buy will have to be, because it did a massive liquidity grab here, to wait for it to retest this zone. If it retests this zone, you put your SL below this range, yes, and then target this high. That will be the best and safest option to do since it is bullish. So if it breaks this low, it will be bearish in the meantime so that it will get to this zone. And if it comes to this zone, I'm expecting that this zone will hold, it will retest it so that it will keep climbing up. I don't think it has really gotten to a place where we are going to see normal price action. So probably we'd like to see what it does here, but I'm sure that this year it will get to this zone. Certainly it will get to this zone. So we'll see. All right. We'll see what happens.
Yes, sir.
What happens. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a wonderful month for all of us.
Amen.
It's going to be. My regards to your family.
Thank you, sir. Yours too.